Hey everybody, it's Galmadex, and welcome back to another premiere draft of Final Fantasy MTG. Without further ado, let's get into the pack one, pick one, a double rare pack that is always sweet. And we have some really strong options. Dion is certainly the stronger of these options. You don't have to do anything when you build your deck to make Dion great. Just a 4 mana 3/3 and 2/2 with flying during your turn that you can also flip for 6 mana to turn into a gigantic flyer that starts buffing all of your other creatures and give them flying. This card is completely absurd, and I'm happy to pack one, pick one this, but honestly, if this were a single rare pack, I'd still be really happy here. Firion is a really fun and powerful build around rare. There's the job select mechanic in this format that involves a bunch of equipment that come with a 1/1 creature token with the equipment automatically attached to them. So when you're cloning your equipment, you're getting those job selected tokens, hasting in for some damage, and then when you sacrifice the equipment, you're still keeping the 1/1s. So Firion is really strong too, but Dion is just like a standalone house. We're going to take Dion here. Pick number 2, we have a very strict build around with Minwu, White Mage. 5 mana for a 3/3 Vigilance lifelink, but whenever you gain a life, you put a +1/+1 counter on each cleric you control. Obviously really fun for commander, tribal decks that are just built around a bunch of clerics and stuff. In draft though, it is kind of hard to connect with a 3/3 on turn 6 because you're playing at turn 5. It doesn't have haste. You wait till turn 6 to get the attack with it. So you do need a lot of ways to get this buffed off of its first attack to make sure it can get those swings in and gain the life to buff itself. Or you need some ways to give it flying or evasiveness. I don't think this is actually that great in a 1v1 draft environment. It's just a little too small up front to get that ball rolling to where it keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So I'd rather just take Rahatia here, which is a really strong card. 3/5 reach, and whenever one or more other creatures and or artifacts you control die, you draw a card. Definitely a bit more consistent. That is going to happen all the time in any white deck. White decks in this set involve just tons and tons of creatures, as you can see off of cards like Dion, cards like Aerith Rescue Mission, spitting out 3/1/1s, Weapons Vendor is another solid creature. Just anything trading off or getting sacked is going to draw you a card. So pick 3, this seems like a decent opportunity to speculate off color here. Call the Mountain Chocobos nice and slower decks, getting a creature and a land for later at the same time. Diamond Weapon is a massive threat in the late game and really good in the green-black self-mill decks. I've seen people cast this for only 2 mana with enough cards in their graveyard, which is super nasty. Or we have solid filler commons on color like Aerith Rescue Mission and Weapons Vendor if we want to just stick to white and try to send a very clear signal to anybody on our left that we're not going to pass any white cards. And honestly, I don't mind that. I'm going to take a Weapons Vendor here. I think there are a lot of good job select equipment in white. I wouldn't really play this without any equipment in your deck, but as long as you have a few solid job select equipment, some of them have really high equip costs, like the Bard's Bow here equips for 6, so being able to circumvent that and equip for just 1 is a decent bonus to your 4 mana 2/2 draw card. Pick 4 is a really easy pick. Ambrosia Whiteheart is nice. I mean, 2 mana 2/2 flash with landfall for +1/+0 is already good. Add on the flexibility of being able to top deck this in the late game and then have it potentially in response to a removal spell, and the card goes up a bit in value. So very solid filler. It's not like super bomby or super explosive or much of a build around. It's just a solid card to put in any deck. Very similar to Zac Fair. Perfectly reasonable card at any points. You get to sacrifice Zac to save whatever creature you want later in the game. So keep your Dion on the board instead of your Zac late game. Very, very nice. So I like Zac Fair here, sticking to mono white. If we wanted to go off color, probably take some removal, grab a Chocobo Kick. Pick 6. Ahriman and Ice Flan, I think, are both likely a little better than Paladin's Arms, but not by a massive margin. Same with Resentful Revelation, so I'm just going to keep sending a very clear signal for people to stay the heck out of white. Take a Paladin's Arms. Pick 7. All right, now that's a late enough Gaius von Balsar. That's take that as a solid signal for black, and black-white is a great archetype for this card because black-white is a sacrifice deck. It's based around getting a really wide board state of small creatures, so you have a bunch of expendable stuff to sacrifice to this card. One of the things that's nice about this is even if you don't build your deck around it at all, sometimes you can just end up in a board state where it's really valuable regardless. If your opponent has a strong Saga creature on board, that's a strong enchantment. So you can play this as a 4-mana 3/2 that blows up their enchantment creature if you're in that position. But there's also positions where you don't have any job selected creatures on board or anything, so you don't have any creature tokens. Well, play this and kill their creature token without losing your creature of your own. It's a really cool card. Castle Guard works quite nicely with it. It gives us a non-token creature to sacrifice if we really want to choose that path with Caius. So I like the Castle Guard here. Great card for the black-white sack deck. Pick 9, Fate of the Suncrist. You love to see it because we're super tied to white more than anything else. So seeing a decent white removal spell go this late is an awesome sign for us. And we get to make sure we're passing 0 white cards yet again. Pick 10, Marlboro's fine, but I do like You're Not Alone as a solid cheap combat trick for an aggressive deck. White decks tend to be pretty go wide, pretty aggressive, so that's not bad at all. And I get to pass 0 white cards. Pick 11, Aerith Rescue Mission. Sure, we're not going to be a Blitzball deck. I highly doubt we're splashing into a third color at all with this kind of strategy. We just want to play a streamlined aggressive curve. So I'm going to take Aerith Rescue Mission here. Make sure the signal could not get any more clear. That white is heavily drafted in this pod. Pick 12, take a Mountain Chocobo here. Getting a Freet, pick 13. And then a red-white duel. Maybe red-white is the backup plan here. We're certainly not tied to black. And then we open a good red rare. It is for the red-white's archetype, and there's nothing good in white. I mean, Oron's Inspiration could be fine if we get to go like the full mono white weenies and play a bunch of Aerith Rescue Mission. That could be really cute. If we wheel both these white cards, maybe I try to go full mono white, do it in one draft. But I think I'm going to take Gilgamesh here. Very, very fun card for the Job Select deck, which is the red-white deck. Red-white has the most equipment out of all the color pairs, which makes it so Gilgamesh is often a 6-mana 6/6 that comes with an additional creature when you play it, because it digs through the top 6, finds a Paladin's Arm, boom, 6 mana, get a 6/6 and a 3/2 on the board. If you're really lucky and you've got a super high equipment count, this can put multiple equipment off its enter effect, not just one. So Gilgamesh is pretty good top end for a red-white equipment strategy. So we'll have that as a possibility here. Pack 2, pick 2. Darkness Crystal, really, really slow, but quite powerful, recasting any creatures that died onto your own board. Magitech Infantry is just awesome for any aggressive white deck, whereas Darkness Crystal we do need to end up playing black for. Perfectly happy to take the infantry here. Pick 3, Galacat's pretty great. So you need a couple artifacts on board, but if you have 2 artifacts on board, it's a 3-mana 3/3 Flying Vigilance, which is absurd. I already want to take Job Select equipment pretty highly with Gilgamesh potentially in the deck, so I'm happy to take the cats. Pick 4. Not a ton going on here. Stiltskin can be fun in blue-white, because if you have aura-based removal spells, you can give your opponent your aura, and nothing changes. It's still attached to the same creature to draw a card. If you have a ton of Saga creatures as well, you can give your opponent your Saga creature in response to its final ability triggering, so they get it for a second and then it just dies immediately. So that's another way to draw a card off Stiltskin for free. But there's not a ton of ways to work with it, so I think I'd rather just take a much more consistent weapons vendor. Okay. Another Magitech Infantry would be quite solid, but Joshua's insane. 3-mana 3/4, discard up to 2, draw that many cards. Then when you flip this, you get a 4/4 flying lifelink that shoots your opponent for 2 and gains you 2 turns in a row, then returns any number of creatures with total mana value 6 or less from your graveyard straight to the battlefield and turns back into Joshua, getting you another 3/4, discard 2, draw 2. Busted card. We'll take Joshua here. And now we can take a Magitech Infantry, and I'm officially locked in on red. There's no way I'm not playing Joshua. Pick 7, Chocomogs, fine for a deck with a pretty high creature count, which we are very likely to be. Pick 8, another Chocomog. Slash of Light's fine too. And Wall of Omens is great in a slower white deck. I'm very low on interaction. I'll actually take a Slash of Light here for removal. We're like awkwardly low on equipment as well for Gilgamesh. I'm still on 1 equipment somehow. Despite Boros looking pretty open here. I mean, there's Zidane chilling. Aerith Rescue Mission's still in there. That's probably Zidane over the Rescue Mission. I will not be playing any Blitzball, but it is on color, so I'll take it. I don't love just +2/+0 each turn. And then the trigger of like, if you dealt 6 to your opponent, then you get a better card. It's like, well, I just dealt 6 to my opponent's face. That means the game is already going really well for me. Alright, Shopkeep is fine here because we have not managed to get a lot of 2-mana creatures. So just as a filler 2-drop. This might be a deck where we don't go very high on the curve, so we just cut Call the Mountain, Chocobo, and Gilgamesh. Again, because I have like 1 equipment still. Okay, pack 3, pick 1. 0 equipment in the pack. Magitech Armor's pretty decent stat line for the cost. Sandworm, decent haster for the cost. That's about it here. I do have a lot of 4 drops, but if I don't end up playing a good equipment deck, we just don't play the vendors. We run armor instead here for a much better stat line at the cost. Worst case scenario, we can still cut like an Aerith Rescue Mission for it and play the vendors if we do become an equipment deck. Ultima. I don't really want to play Ultima in this deck. We're pretty aggressive. We're playing to the board a lot. Rather just take Dragoon's Lance. This card's kind of insane. 2 mana for essentially a 2/1 flyer, and then you still get to move this equipment around later. Flying's really good in this set, and being able to turn any of your creatures into a flyer for 4 mana later is very, very relevant. This is one of the most relevant job select cards for the late game. And the early game. I mean, 2 mana, 2/1 flyer on curve. Yeah, this is not a great Ultima deck. We just play way too heavily to the board here. Pack 3, pick 3. Another Magitech Armor looks fine. Starting Town's a great card to have in your collection. This will be a standard staple for sure. But we'll take another Magitech Armor. Probably cut the Rescue Mission. Pick 4, White Auracite. We're still low on removal. This is one of the best removal spells in the set. Love it. 4 mana to exile any non-land permanent, and you now have a Mana Rock. Tapping for white. Very good card. Pick 5, no equipment. Inala Archmage Ritualist. 4/5 whenever another non-token wizard enters. Okay, that's not happening. Okay, it's just 5 mana 4/5. Crossroads Village. Chocomog, Weapons Vendor. Shopkeep. Not a great pack for us. Really just want more equipment than anything. But somebody else is definitely in the equipment deck somehow. We saw like 2 equipment the whole draft, which makes our Gallic head a lot worse too. Ash, probably pretty bad. What's the artifact count? 7? 7's not horrific. And maybe Ash will be good. Probably not. If Ash isn't going to be good, then the cat is definitely not going to be good, though. So I'll take Ash over the cat. I think we like the Castle Guard here. Oh, Thunder Magic. Shoot. Almost passed up on great removal. Take a Thunder Magic. Pick 8. Definitely not a Blazing Bomb deck. I'll take a Self-Destruct, but I don't think I'm playing that either. It does synergize with Zidane. We can steal their own creature and then self-destruct it, which is cool. But that's not that consistent with just 1 card in the whole deck to steal an opposing threat. The other synergy that it has is with like Saga creatures. When they're going to die to their own effect anyway, you can use it. And I do have 2 Saga creatures, so I guess there's 3 cards it works with. Works with our Saga creatures and it works with our Zidane. But that's still pretty narrow. I suppose I can take another Saga creature, though, for that opportunity. Another Castle Guard, happily. Shopkeep, sure. We have 2 equipment. in the entire deck. That is depressing, because Gilgamesh is really, really good if your deck has like 6+ equipment. But 2 equipment in the whole deck, this is a 6-mana 6/6. With a very low chance of maybe coming with a single creature. That's a bummer. Again, Gilgamesh usually quite good, but just not in this draft pod. Not in this draft pod. Grand total of 2 equipment, yep. So the weapons vendors, the Gilgamesh, the cats, the ash, these all get a lot worse. Our 2 equipment are still good by themselves, just Paladin's Arm, Dragoon's Lance, but not get there really. Put all our token producers up with our creatures. These are all also creatures. These are 2-mana 2/2s with no abilities the majority of the time. So, looks like we're just cutting like a chunk of all this stuff. Doesn't really work without the equipment. Gilgamesh really doesn't. We've got 7 artifacts. Does not feel like enough for Ash or a Cats. Shopkeeps are 2-mana 2/2s, no text. These are 4-mana 2/2s that draw 1 card, which is not quite there. Our curve doesn't go that high, so I'm not very excited about the Mountain Chocobo either. Cut some of the Ifrit as well. If I cut the Self-Destruct, 2, 3, 4, 5 non-creature spells. I do want 6 non-creatures. Right, 17 creatures, 6 non-creatures would be 23 non-lands. Guess I play the Self-Destruct, keep the Sagas in. For Self-Destruct synergy, cut these. And 1 more card. This can be played for 3. Got a lot of discard a card, draw a card if I'm flooding out, so I don't really want to go 16 lands here. Don't want to cut a land as the final cut. I mean, I could cut one of the Ifrit, and then I still have 2 different summons and Zidane for Self-Destruct. Yeah. Yeah, I'll do that. I mean, honestly, Self-Destruct is probably still just bad. Very, very inconsistent card. But it will be really, really funny if I have Zidane and Self-Destruct at the same time. I guess I need 7 mana. Okay, hold on. I should almost definitely find something else for this Self-Destruct. Even if it is an 18th creature. Because even the biggest wombo combo we have means we need 7 mana, 5 for Zidane and 2 for the Self-Destruct. Incredibly late gameplay. Can still just try to live in Magical Christmas Land if I want, because whatever we're swapping them out for is not very good. I mean, I'm keeping Zidane, period, but whatever I'm swapping Self-Destruct out for is not very good. It's like a play Blitzball, if I want it to be a non-creature, or it is an 18th creature, like a weapons vendor that's pretty filler with very few equipment for it. An Ash with 7 artifacts in the whole deck. Call the Mountain Chocobo when I don't have anything in the whole deck that costs more than 5. Okay, we're doing stupid fun things. Don't do this at home, kids. I do not recommend Self-Destruct, but whatever. We'll play it. It'll be fun. We've got some big bomb power to make up for my silly, probably deck building errors here. We'll just win some games off Joshua and Dion to make up for the games we lose with a Self-Destruct in hand that doesn't do anything. Deck looks pretty fun, deck looks pretty strong, and we'll have to see how it plays out as we hop into the gameplay. Alright, here we are for game 1. We have both of our colors, which is pretty important. Some good removal. But a Chocomog with no other creatures in hand is awkward. I'm still gonna keep here, because the mana's good, but that's not great. There we go. We've drawn a lot of creatures now. 2 Dwarven Castle Guards in a row. Gonna syncopate a little dwarf. Tragic. And then Fang, Fearless the Sea. So if they can remove cards from their graveyard immediately, they'll draw a card. I think I'll have a little bit of time to blow up the Fang. Drawing Zac was great there, getting a 1-drop creature, so I can double spell and then Chocomog. That'll be awesome. Cypher. Double strike attacks. And if Cypher connects, they cast their cards from their grave. Okay. What if I were to say no thank you to that while you're tapped out? Because we know you're running Syncopate. Oh, Darkness Crystal. That card is gross. The worst part about this is brutally good against Saga creatures because they naturally sack themselves later, so our opponent doesn't need to do anything to steal every Saga creature I play for the rest of the game. Ay, ay, ay. Alright, well I need them to not draw any Fang cards, ideally. But they did roadblock us off with that 3 toughness and the other bomber I had to throw removal at long enough that I'm pretty sure the Darkness Crystal is going to take over the game. It's gone long here. Wow. What a hand. They then have the recursion for Fang and Cypher. So if I didn't kill Fang, they were going to draw cards off of her there. Yeah. I mean, I don't... just play it out and die to this. Basically getting triple rared here. Darkness Crystal, double Cypher. The way this works is they can trade Fang into the Castle Guard, exile it, put it under the Darkness Crystal, and then they play a 4/3 Crystal Guard on their own board. And they gain 2 every time anybody dies. Chocomog's going to sack itself, they're going to gain 2, they're going to get a 5/5 Chocomog. There's very little artifact removal in the set. We did not find a suplex in our draft pod, which would have been the on-color way to do it here. Yeah, in the interest of time, I'm moving on to game 2. Alright, here we are for game 2. Sounds really good if I draw any land, doesn't really matter what color. We did find the mountain. Unfortunately, we're on the draw here with what looks like an aggressive matchup. So the play-draw differential is pretty huge. They get to kind of naturally outrace us by being on the play. Start off with a great rare with Brynhildr. So all of their creatures played in the next 2 turns will be hasting out. That immediately drew a card with this mountain here. So even though it does sack itself, it replaces itself by drawing a card. None of our blocks are super good because it's going to just sack itself next turn anyway, and obviously blocking Tonberry is just losing the Castle Guard without even killing anybody. No 3-mana play, at least. I don't have anything I really want to discard yet. So I don't mind running out Paladin's Arms here, I suppose. If they're just holding up removal or something here, this is a pretty good turn for me. Yeah, I am more than happy to pull removal on my hero token and have them not play a creature that turn. Sabotender with haste, sure. Landfall ping for 1. They've got 3 cards left in their hand. We are down to 11. That's it from our opponent. Zach and Chokomog here for mana efficiency. The scary part about Rakdos in this set is that they do have a lot of ping for even if I block everybody. Oh, don't let it be one of those days. So we each draw a card and they draw a card. They draw 2 probably. If they get to 8 mana, I have to sacrifice a permanent. And then they just kill me with a giant flyer. Oh boy. They're at 15. I cannot get through Kefka at all. I don't have a 5-power creature to self-destruct Kefka here. I guess Zach gives somebody indestructible, so an indestructible creature using self-destruct is actually pretty good. I have the mana to play Castle Guard and self-destruct in the same turn. Suppose that's the plan then. Indestructible block on Kefka plus self-destruct. It's really still not ideal. But it's all I've got. I mean, this thing's huge, and it did draw them 2 cards. I drew them 3 because it was land, enchantment, creature. Okay, You're Not Alone gets me genuinely excited about a potential self-destruct blowout. It is +4/+4 here. Oh, baby! No shot, dude. Self-destruct is actually goated. Oh, no way! Alright, here we are for game 3. This hand has no early creatures, but it has the Wombo combo. We have Zidane and Self-Destruct, so I am gonna keep here and hope that this game goes long, play in a way that we play defensively here, and try to make the game go long. But we're against the green deck, so I guess we're probably not gonna have to do that. Most green decks are pretty slow, pretty rampy, and theirs looks no different. They start with a Mana Dork, which I wouldn't hate to just blow up the Mana Dork to keep them off of better plays. I'm probably supposed to just play to the board and then just blow up whatever their best play is. Azusa! Okay. Yeah, blowing up the Mana Dork was not gonna work. Oh! Stop. Their hand is already empty. Not literally. They have 2 cards left, but they have 6 mana. They have 6 mana on their turn 3. Okay. Well, it's a new world we live in now. It's a terrifying one. I have to wait till 7 mana to blow up their gigantic creature they're going to cast here. I guess I'll have to fate it and then kill the next one with Zidane. Alright. I don't really want to trade my 3/2 for a Chocobo here. Okay. I can live with a T-Rex for now. Good draw. I am in the market for a bunch of lands off the top. I could trade You're Not Alone into the T-Rex if they block this Magitech armor. But that feels risky. Because I'd rather just like blow it up when it attacks and still have a 4/4 to block the other stuff. Discard a card, draw 2. Go to combat. I blow up the T-Rex. They drew no lands. It's 3 spells. That's terrifying. Alright, I'm 1 land draw away from Zidane Self-Destruct. Zidane Self-Destruct can get really close to lethal on them as well if I start getting some chip damage in here. And their crackback right now is for like 3, 4, 5-ish. Yeah, let's get some chip damage in here. I guess I get double block here because the Zeus is not very useful at this point. Oh, okay, they just have removal anyway. Could self-destruct since it's going to die anyway, but I have the Wombo, so I don't want to do that. Please play a, like, 12 power creature so I can hit for 12 and self-destruct for 12. That is not that. That is a discard draw 2. Flashing back the Laughing Man. Passing the turn. Basically. Yeah, Azusa doesn't do anything at this point. No, we're still in the market for chip damage. We'll take this and crack back. Well, I did hit literally nothing but lands, which is good. That is what I wanted for Zidane Self-Destruct, but they don't have anything to Zidane Self-Destruct yet still. I guess if I hit yet another land next turn, I can now Zidane and You're Not Alone and then Self-Destruct. Zidane Self-Destruct is so funny because the creature dealing damage to itself has lifelink, so it'll be at like 40 life or something if it's a big enough creature. This is such a weird game because it's a game where I want my green opponent to have the giant fatty. Okay, there we go. They have the giant fatty. And I think we can win if we hit the land. If we hit the land, I think we can win on the spot. Off of You're Not Alone, because then it's 11 power trample. Alright, I did draw a lot of lands, which is still good. This is not going to be insta-lethal, depending on how they block. But it's gotta be worth it while they're tapped out, instead of waiting another turn. Yeah, this is not going to be lethal, but I'm going to go back up to like 24. No, even better than that. I'm going to gain 21 life this turn. I'll be at 31. They're going to be at 3. That's such a bummer we were 1 mana from the kill. But again, we drew like 4 lands in a row, so we had pretty good luck up until then. The revenge kill. Zidane's just a 3/3 at that point. So that doesn't matter too much, but it is funny. Alright, there's only 1 bad draw in our whole deck, and it's the second Magitech Infantry. Okay, lands are not that good either, but as long as I don't draw the second Magitech Infantry, I'll be pretty happy here. So they have to block. Okay, just play the armor and the infantry and pass. Well, no, this makes it so literally anything, even a 1/1 getting in is lethal, so I don't think I want to spend this just to kill one of these two. But killing one of these two does lower the number of blockers. All I really need to do is get to where I have like 2 more attackers than they have blockers. I think I'm gonna save it though. I'm gonna activate infantry before the draw step. So I have 7 mana here. There's only 1 card in the whole deck I could draw into and not be able to double spell with You're Not Alone after activating infantry for 3. I guess the literal only reason to infantry during the upkeep is if the top card on my deck is the second infantry, which is quite unlikely. How many 4 mana cards do I have? I have 3 different 4 mana cards and a 5 mana card, so there's 4 cards in the deck I could keep myself from casting by spending 3 in my upkeep. I guess this doesn't look like a turn I need to cast You're Not Alone, though, so we just do the infantry thing, play whatever I draw, make sure I don't get another infantry. I'm just not playing You're Not Alone this turn, that's fine. Actually, I'm just going to really make sure I don't top deck the other infantry. Oh, they got a Barret. Still good, though. It's still a creature. Have an 8/8 Magitech armor on attacks here. They've got instant speed removal. If they have a second airship crash, that's pretty bad. But otherwise, it should be kind of excellent. Just killing Barret is really good. This goes through. Uh-oh. Okay. They were reading their hand there. If Lance resolves, we have flying lethal damage on board for next turn. We just have to move it over to somebody with at least 2 power naturally. Play a tap land, ride Zushupa. Flashback a Chocobo, no flying blockers, that is game. We did the Zidane self-destruct thing. Okay, this is kind of embarrassing. Both of our wins, our only 2 wins today, have been self-destruct wins. And I wanted to cut the card real badly. That's just how Magic goes sometimes, you know? Magic's a crazy game. 2-1 it is, heading into game 4. Alright, game 4, another hand, not starting until turn 3, but it's got both the colors and some reasonable plays here. Great interaction. Black Mage's Rod starts things off from our Rakdos opponent. It's a strategy with a lot of pingers dealing damage to me whenever they're casting non-creature spells, so they can stack up a ton of damage early, and now the Scavengers draining me for a life whenever one of their cards dies. Also quite good. Looks like another matchup where I wish desperately that I was on the play, because they are aggro curving here. We've got a good hand to be discarding cards here, so I'll start with the Ifrit. It's also a card that'll naturally sacrifice itself soon enough, so it's a card we're really fine with trading off. Maybe not into the token. Certainly into the Salvagers if that attacked. I got a 3/4 out here, so what am I doing next turn? Untap, draw. Could Aura Sight, the 3/4. That's it for the turn. I feel like I am genuinely under quite a bit of pressure, but I don't think I can trade that far down. That's a heck of a draw. Yeah, I'm gonna run that out. Get the blockers immediately. And we're just kind of throwing Dion under the bus here. We just need to stop damage. So it's going to be fine if Dion never flips and does the super, super crazy stuff. Just 2 creatures off 1 spell is already great. That was a pretty free sack. If I just take this 3... Well, they surveilled 2 and kept both on top, so they just have removal for Dion regardless. Ugh. That means things are going to go bad for me either way. But if I take this 3, I go to 11. I get to go Auracite plus Slash of Light on a future turn while having actually 2 creatures on board, so that Slash does kill something. I also have You're Not Alone now. That might be enough to save if they go for like the -2/-2 on somebody. I could stun their whole board. Oh no, I only stun 1 creature. Okay, never mind, that's pretty bad. Definitely not doing that. If I rescue mission though, I've got a lot of creatures for a future Slash of Light. Okay, so I guess if I Auracite now, I know I can Rescue Mission plus Slash of Light on the future turn. Then I can kill basically anything with Slash of Light on the next turn. Still gotta kind of be full defensive here. We're at 11 against a deck that has a lot of life drain between Black Mages and Salvagers. They have 2 cards in hand, but we know their top 2 cards are both good. Oh, it's just the stun? Oh, that's fine. That is super fine. Yep, so we get to go block plus You're Not Alone, and then I get to go rescue mission and slash the flan. Uh-oh, they have a 1-mana spell off the treasure. I do not know the set well enough to know what on earth that is. Chocomog. I do need at least 4 creatures on board for Slash of Light to work here. So I need to play at least 2 creatures. Yeah, only way is Rescue Mission, which holds the Black Mage off. We'll do this while they're mostly tapped out. Got the 1/1s to hold their 2/1 off. And now we flip the corner by flipping a Dion and putting a counter on all these. Yeah, Darkness Crystal's an absolute nightmare. We got completely demolished by that card game 1, but if they don't immediately have removal for it, the Dion flip is the win. Hopefully. It's still a question, that's for sure. It's still sort of anyone's game. But look at this board. The best board for blocks that we can set up here. 2 2/2s on a 3/4, 1 2/2 on a 2/1. If they don't top deck removal, they're like super, super dead. Because next turn I have a lethal swing with everybody, right? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Yeah. Alright, their final draw step needs to be instantly removal. And it's a land. I think that's the kill. Dion is absolutely nutter butters. Lethal swing. Oh, what a card. Good lord. Dion technically didn't solo. They had a great aggressive start there. We had to play a lot of other cards to defend ourselves, a lot of cheap removal and tricks and stuff, but I mean, we had no shot there without Dion. That was astronomical stuff. And we are 3-1 heading into game 5. All right, on the play for game 5. Desperately need to draw lands, but they can be any lands in the whole deck, and this hand super wins. But, again, that's only if it draws lands. But because they can be any lands, that's about half of our draws being really good cards. I hate the land, but it is castable. It's the Boros mirror match here. Yeah, this is pretty cute. Full aggro it out here. Make this Slash of Light as good as possible, so that even if I miss another land, I can clear out anything they cast this turn. Okay, that has Ward, so I can't clear that out if I don't hit the land. Yikes, and we draw a red spell. Okay, it's only got 2 toughness, though, so we're still chilling. Alright, we're 0 for 2 on our coin flips. She might be 0 for 3 by now. I'm not sure, because our opponent also missed a land, I believe. When they move to combat, we kill that before they get a treasure. I don't think I needed the full control, but just in case, sometimes Arena skips things at really important times. Okay. It's very good. I get to pull an infantry out of my deck, which raises the land to non-land ratio and helps build our board even more. Is it worth sacking a creature to deal an extra 2 here? Probably not. Probably just deal the 3 for now. Weapons Vendor. Super fine. We can attack into that a lot better than the 3 toughness card. Cool. Now we know we don't top deck an infantry. We do top deck a Paladin's Arms, which is pretty rough. At least it's castable, but it is not super relevant. And the question for swinging that turn would be, is it worth sacking a 2/2 to trade another 2/2 and hit for 4? And I don't think so. Lose half the board, only kill 1 creature. They're still at 7. Yikes, yeah, they still got a lot of gas over there. Do I have any other knights? Are these knights? No, they're soldiers, of course. They would be. Oh, Paladin's Arms is a knight, at least. Dion is a quick kill when we hit land 4. Thanks to having another knight on board. They don't have any flying blockers, they only have flying attackers. Alright. They are probably going to removal spell Dion real quick, but still 2 creatures with the stats here, and an immediate swing, getting them down to 8. It's better than playing Auracite or Magitech Armor for sure. Yeah, especially when they have Ward on their most important creature right now. If they have no removal, they're just already dead. That's 8 flying power, thanks to Dion. Yeah, the Final Fantasy 16 rares, especially Dion, but most of them, are just ridiculously good cards because the stat line of the front half is already very good for that mana cost. 4 mana, 3/3 flyer, and 2/2 flyer. And then, you know, the back half is always just insane. Oops, I win nonsense. But there's a blue one, Jill, That flips into Shiva. That's a 3-mana 2/2 bounce any non-land permanents. And then you get, you know, a big summon that's making your creatures unblockable. It's pretty ridiculous. Ooh, Zidane the Dion here. Well, they can't sack Dion, but the life gain makes it not a lethal crackback anymore. And it's all in the sky, so I'm dead in one more swing. So yeah, I think I die. Well, no, they had to attack for that. So now they only have 2 blockers on the ground. I can clear 1 out with the Aura Sight, which leaves them with 2 blockers total on the ground. So they block 2 creatures and take 4 from the other 2. So take 1, 2, 3, 4 on the ground and take 8 in the sky. That is still lethal. Barely. If they have nothing for 1 treasure. Then this should be lethal with an all attack. I should have played land first for the landfall trigger. Although, if it mattered, then they would block the 3-power creature regardless. But I'm pretty sure this is lethal. Close. Close game. Really lucky they had no removal there to deal with Dion himself. Because that was the, you know, the single-handedly lethal card because it was giving all the knights flying. All right, that is 4-1. We've got a positive record out of this draft no matter what, but we'll see how far we can take it heading into game number 6. All right. Most of our hands today starting at 3 mana. Pretty slow. But the Ifrit is very good in this hand because we're flooded. Digs out of that well. And obviously we have both our colors, which is always very important in an opening hand. Pointing out that the Ifrit is good when you're flooded is not a request to get more flooded. But I understand the communication breakdown there, Arena. That's my bad. Hey, great work from Ifrit. I'll put a stop on my upkeep so I have that option of tutoring for the 2nd infantry in the upkeep. But again, the only world in which that's the better play is if the other infantry is it's the 1 in 29 chance that it's the literal top card. If it's any other draw, it's better to not do it, so I have the option of fading something if necessary, so I'm not gonna do it. Okay. I like this hand. I'm keeping it. I don't really care about the mana the Ifrit gives. Oh, they've got a 2/4. Never mind. Unless I want to throw my combat trick at them here, we're not really getting in. Yeah, sure. Combat trick for Sahagin is not bad. I guess I don't get to lance this turn. Doing it this way. Now I do. Yeah. Now I can lance all day. One in 28 now. Another Ultros. That explains the trade. Legend rule. Man, it might actually be relevant with this 4-mana equip here. Yeah, I've got the mana to do that and infantry now. Sure. Thinning out our less relevant draws out of the deck. And more importantly, getting more power on the board when they're down at 7. There's some rares here that'd be really bad for me. Ultima, if they have double white, blows up all creatures, but they only have 1 white. Leviathan is a summon for 6 mana that returns all non-sea creatures to their owner's hands. Blows up all tokens permanently. That is a super bad draw, but I can put them to 1, so I'm tempted. They're already dead to 2 swings from this thing, so I kind of want to just save this in case they play a worse threat for me. Because if the game goes long, that Chocomog sacks itself anyway. And as long as I have any creature on the board, I just put the Lance on it and fly over for lethal, so this is not relevant to the flying kill. So save this for something that is. I do have some cards in here that let me discard a card to draw a card, but probably still should have played this in case they have a taxing counterspell like Syncopate. It might be relevant. To where they cast a cheap enough creature that they can play that as a blocker and then also hold up a Syncopate for 2. Because now I can't pay for Syncopate for 2. I can only pay for it for 1. Alright, well, it's going to be instant speed removal, which Whiteheart is good against, but not on a token. I guess I could pick up the Lance and replay it to get another hero at least. Which is cute. Are they going to blow up the Lance at instant speed? Ooh! Fancy. But now you're tapped out and I'll deal 3. Alright. 5 and 1. We are in the money no matter what happens with this draft. This deck has been insane. It's got a lot of great rares we've been winning with the Dion for multiple wins in a row. But also the first 2 wins, both being self-destruct wins, was hilarious. And this was our first rareless win, as far as I know. Yeah, our opponent just had kind of a weaker, slower hand there. We got to push damage through. Solid work from the deck. 5 and 1, heading into game number 7. Ooh. I mean, I gotta draw lands, but good lord. Lord have mercy on my opponent if I top deck lands. Hello. World map. We have drawn 1 land. Now I just need to draw 1 more land the next 2 draw steps. 44% of the deck is lands here, so a coin flip that is slightly weighted against us. But we have 2 of those coin flips, which means the odds are slightly in our favor. And there you go. All right. I'm going to lead with Magitech Armor this game, because we have not played anything that draws removal from our opponent yet. And then it's possible I could play Dion and have a combat trick up if there's some weird damage-based removal like Slash of Light. But I expect blue-white, it's going to be like destroy kinds of removal. Now I have the opportunity to play an infantry and tutor the other one instead, which doesn't feel bad. The options are a 1-1 and a 4-4 vehicle, or 2 1-1s, and the 2 1-1s, or sorry, the 2 2-1s play better against a counterspell from our opponent if they're just trying to syncopate here. Just tax them. Soak up their mana for the turn. Just get them to world map instead. Although I guess, like, if they are holding up syncopate, then there is an argument to just getting it out of the way so that Dion resolves. But if they hold up a syncopate every single turn, we're just going to kill them with smaller stuff while they're not doing anything with their mana. Because we can combat trick our way through the Sentinel. No! I can't do both my abilities. Well, it's better to have a 2-1 flyer than a 2-1 on the ground, so cash this in to have a 2-1 flyer, right? These are not knights, no. I guess, you know what? I could just get another infantry and then just slam down Dion. I mean, whatever I do here, I can just slam down Dion while they're tapped out. Let's keep the flyer. Keep the flyer and slam out Dion. The other bummer about spending the trick is I do have the self-destruct, and we've seen how insane that trick is with self-destruct. Yeah, maybe I should have just gotten the infantry. It's a really close decision there. It's not like I can't get the infantry again later, but... did have to spend a pretty legit card to save the flyer. Suplex a Dion. Sure, Joshua will come in instead. Titus? Tiny little baby Titus with your 1 toughness. I'm not drawing any cards on Joshua right now. I want to fate this Sentinel off of land 5 soon. I guess it's armor. Start beating into the 4-4. Sleep Magic, a 1-1 token. Job select cards are incredible. Thick Scorpion Sentinel. That's the mana to blow it up. Send in the team. I think that is where we're at. They're down to 6 now. Self-destruct is very close to lethal very soon. I mean, it's on board lethal, but... Alright, they need instant speed removal on the armor here. And then even if they have that, I could just self-destruct the armor into their face and kill them with the infantry. We haven't lost a self-destruct game, baby. The card's ridiculous. I mean, this was just a very good hand in general. They had to fight through a Dion and a Dion token, so that's obviously incredibly helpful too. Super, super good stuff with the deck. We are 6-1, only a single win away from maximum prize out from a full 7-win run. We are heading into that final boss with 2 rounds in the chamber. Hey, Dion. We're on the draw this game. A definite keep for the opener. Oh god, Aerith Rescue Mission Dion again? I mean, that... the wombo combo there only matters if you resolve a Dion and then also resolve the flip, which is incredibly rare because of how important Dion is to kill. Oops, I missed a point of damage. I'm done. I was too excited talking about Dion here. We're going to lose this game by 1 life. Let's go. The misplay has immediately shut me up. No commentary for the rest of this game. I'm locking in. It's the final boss. Okay. Chocomog is really good with Aerith Rescue Mission and Dion, but Joshua to ditch them towards guaranteeing land for Dion also seems very good. There are two very different ways to play this game out. I think I'm going for mana as the way. Like so. Cool, found it. Cerberus, sure. Too small to block Joshua. They double up their next instant or sorcery if I don't kill that. Which is very threatening because it could just be efficient removal, so I'm just going to kill that. So they don't get the double removal next turn and then triple removal the turn after. Push damage here. If they don't kill Joshua when we hit land 5, we just flip Joshua, but otherwise we just play Dion. Gix! Gix ain't good. You know, against Rakdos, like as strong as flipping Joshua is, where I get the immediate drain for 2, and then I've got a flyer that can kill them pretty quick. I can also just put 5 flying stats on the board. And that's much better against them drawing into 1-for-1 removal. And I get to attack with Joshua. I don't get to attack with Joshua if I flip him. Alright, cool. The black counterspell. No. The red counterspell. Samurai's Katana, sure. There are 9 life here, and we have a self-destruct in hand, so... Whenever a creature deals combat damage to one of your opponents, pay 1 and draw a card. Alright, sure. Go to 8. Queen are on. They have 2 blockers. I've got Thunder Magic for one of them. This is probably already lethal on board, but I'm being lazy with my brain power right now. Yep, that's lethal without self-destruct. Alright, that is a 7-win run. First one in a while. It might be the first 7-win trophy run since the early access event. But it was a sweet one. Very, very sweet one. Great draft. We ended up with a great, great deck here. A bit of a self-explanatory one for the most part. We had a couple pretty cheeky, pretty fun things going on, but most of what was strong about this deck was the sheer quantity of great rares that we managed to scoop up, great cards that we managed to scoop up in general. I guess there's really only 2 of them, but they are really, really good cards. And being in specifically Boros, we got Joshua really late. Zidane was pretty late as far as I remember. And kind of the cutest, most synergy-driven stuff that we were doing was self-destruct related nonsense that actually worked pretty well. Again, this is not the kind of card that I would put in most decks. I don't recommend just throwing it into your decks. You need to have a lot of good reasons to do it, and even then, I feel like it's pretty inconsistent, but wow, did it pay off today. We got multiple wins off of the self-destruct. That was really, really fun. So yeah, this was just a really, really solid deck. Obviously, auto-winning every game we hit Dion in. And outside of that, just showing off the power of the bread and butter white commons and uncommons. The infantry to get the second infantry was consistently good. The castle guards were always great. Whiteheart was really nice. Dragoon's Lance was an absolute MVP. Flying just plays so well in this set. And of course, the efficient removal spells like the Aura Sight and Fate of the Sun Crest being great cards too. Yeah, looking back at the deck, it's not as bomby as I thought it was. We just drew Dion a lot, which is really helpful. It's actually, just like a solid Boros deck, it looks like. It's got the 2 real good bomb rares. It felt like we were like a 4 or 5 rare deck with how well we drew. Yeah, kind of high rolled it a little bit. Drew super, super well today, but I will take it. That is a 7-1 run for today's draft, locking us in for 2,200 gems and 6 packs of Final Fantasy. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and you're interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in the recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. And other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.